I'm a bit of an emo face, so bear with me. From the age of 17 to 28, I was a full-blown coward. Now, what do I mean by coward? Well, any inkling of conflict, I would run away. Any inkling of an altercation, I would cave. I just did not feel like I had the capacity to stand up for myself and to stand up for what I believed in. So, I caved in to the people around me. I refused to acknowledge my own independence, my own thought, for the sake of other people. Now, some of you might say, "Oh, Bolcha, you're being a little too harsh." Nah, I'm not. I was a coward. And it's okay. It's okay for me to admit it because I've gotten over it. I've experienced it. I know what it is. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this like it's a video diary is to warn you. I'm warning you not to be a coward. Now, I know this sounds harsh, but you have to understand that it is so easy to be held back by our fears. Incredibly easy that you don't even know it. It's just sometimes on default. You have to be conscious of it. And when I see a lot of dudes, they cool, interesting guys, I see that fear is holding them back. I see fear holding them back from asking out that semi-cute girl. I see fear holding them back from standing up to a bully. I see fear restraining them from confronting a toxic family member. I see it too many times. And the one thing we have to understand with fear and why it holds us down so often is because fear is just made up of lies. Lies that we make up in our head. Every lie that fear gives us is just to make sure that we stay in that mental prison. I'll tell you guys, I remember one time I was getting bullied so bad at the age of 22 by a coworker that I apologized to him for being an inconvenience. That's how much of a coward I was. And as Publius Sirius said 2,000 years ago, the timid man sees dangers that do not exist. And that was me. I just saw problems everywhere, fears everywhere, and I felt powerless. That's why I was a full-blown coward. Now, how did I get over this? Well, obviously it involves going to therapy, but the main thing was confronting a toxic parent that's been terrorizing me since the age of 17. When I stood up to that parent, again, I was scared to the bone. I was scared. I honestly thought I was going to die in some way. That's how scared I was. And then after that incident, nothing happened to me. Nothing changed physically for me. And that's when I realized that I gave this toxic parent way too much power. More power that they deserved. And I think the sad part was realizing that all the fears I had about this particular parent was in my head. And that I could have been free from it years ago. But I chose not to. So again, this is not a video diary, but this is just to warn you guys, and I'm using myself as an example, that fear can hold you down and you don't even realize it. And this is not just me blabbing on some old age millennial. If you take a look at literature, existential philosophy, existential psychology, even the ancient Greek philosophy, they all talk about courage. And a majority of them mention that courage is the foundation to living a genuine and a heartwarming life. Courage is the first thing. Yet when you go on personal development YouTube, you see, building your confidence doing this, building your charisma doing that, getting laid doing this. So many different things. I'll tell you this. If you just want if there's only one thing for you to work on for the rest of your life when it comes to your personal development journey, it's courage. And that trait alone will reap so much reward for you, more rewards than you could even imagine. I'll tell you, let me tell you a quick short story from old Uncle Ernest Hemingway. So there's a short story called The Short and Happy Life of Francis Maycomber. So in this story, Francis Maycomber is a coward. He's rich and his wife cheats on him and he knows it. But his fears hold him back from confronting her. His fears hold him back from expressing his disdain and really expressing himself. So long story short, he's able, for the first time in his life, express courage. And that was the first moment of Francis living a genuine life. Unfortunately, his wife shoots him in the head by accident. Those short moments where he expressed courage, that was a short and happy life of Francis Maycomber. That was the authentic Francis Maycomber. Now, the reason why I bring this story up is because when you express courage, that's when you're actually being authentic. That's when you're actually expressing a zeal for life. It's with courage. And if you take a look at actually quite a lot of like middle-aged adults who are kind of resigned to their unfulfilling life, when you take a look at them, you don't see them expressing courage. They're just putting their heads down and letting their fears hold them back. You know, fears of not upsetting their boss, fears of not upsetting their spouse, fears of just not living up to the standards that people put on them. And as a result, you know, those people, you know, get jaded, resentful, and they're just not fun to be around. So you want to take that as a warning as well too, that again, it's very easy to fall in the trap of fear. I'll be honest, guys, being courageous is a daily choice. You can never be courageous by default. All you can ask yourself is to be conscious of being courageous every day. So when you see that semi-cute girl, you ask her out. Yeah, she might reject you, but whatever. Or if you're trying to network to get a better job or a better career opportunity, yeah, you express courage. It might work out, it might not, it doesn't matter. Because the more you express courage, the more that you'll find that things are not as far off as they seem to be. Things are a lot realistic to achieve. And I think the best part about living an honest and courageous life is that you're able to make your life into an adventure. You're able to create funny, interesting stories, all because you're not choosing to listen to fear, but instead choosing to express courage. Now, I could just keep blabbing on forever, but you know what? Just to, flex my little wisdom that I have, let me show you some sayings from Publius Syrus on courage and fear. Fear never advanced any man to the highest standing. Okay, I gotta mention, for this one, you guys have to remember this. If there's anything you want to achieve, just realize that fear is never the secret to the success of it. Fear is a hindrance. But mind you, I will tell you this, fear will always be there. Fear will never go away. But it's your choice whether to cave in or to express courage. I remember Mike Tyson's old boxing trainer, I think Cus D'Amato, he said that the coward and the hero both feel fear. However, what they choose to do with fear is completely different. One caves in and the other moves forward in spite of it. Alright, anyways, I digress. Let's go back to another Publius Syrus saying, "He is never happy whose thoughts always run with his fears." What we fear comes to pass more speedily than what we hope. Anyways, this video is getting too long, but I want you guys to understand that fear has been something that we've all been dealing with. Humans have been dealing with since the dawn of man. However, it's your choice on how you respond to fear. Because honestly, I'm telling you that you can have a fun dating life, a fun social life, and just a genuine and interesting life. However, you need to start practicing courage. You need to start expressing courage more in your daily life. And trust me, over time it accumulates into an interesting and honest life. So that when your friends, talk about you or link up with you, they're gonna say, wow, why is it that you get to do so many cool and interesting things? And you respond by saying, because I'm not a pussy. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter. And guys, remember, you're not just any type of nerd, you're a charismatic nerd.